All right, here we have our winner of game 1. Some fancy nuke in action, but a little bit sloppy. Can he pull it together a little bit this game? He is.
Bomber indeed.
Bomberman, living up to his name.
Might have to change his name to Nuker.
Nuke Man. Startail Nuker. I don't know if that quite.
No, that's not as good.
Yeah. And here's our other player. Doesn't have confidence, but he slayers Ryung. There's my opening.
And I hope, I hope he takes some confidence from that last game, because he did very well in that game.
Yeah.
And if the Banshee had done more damage, I think, early on, he could have been even throughout that game. It was only because Bomber got his second expansion up early and had the economic lead the whole game. That's, I think, the main reason why, well, one of the reasons, one of several, I guess, that Ryung ended up losing that eventually. If he had played straight up, might have been a different story.
Well, a big part of Bomber's strategy last game was to try to demoralize Ryung. I mean, it really was.
It's true.
Right from, maybe 10 minutes into the game, he was already calling down mules and things like that.
Yeah, and
so
actually,
Bomber trying to get into his opponent's head a lot in this series, too.
Yeah, and in his interview last week when he beat MMA, they said, you did a ceremony after game 1, what was up with that? And he said, I did it to make my opponent lose confidence. So, yeah, I mean, maybe that might have been even part of it. You're right. Doing that, he knew he was ahead. Doing stuff to kind of make his opponent angry, mock him a little bit in order to maybe throw Ryung's confidence off even more. Yeah,
nothing is more strong in a 1v1 contest of any sort when you can recruit your opponent into the battle against themselves.
Yeah.
It's very true. So it looks like Ryung checking for some proxies, always a good thing to do. On any map, you want to make sure to check those. Especially against Protoss. Man, I hate the cannon rushes.
Incidentally, with that last game, Bomber actually brought his TVT winning percentage above Ryung's.
Oh, really?
Ryung actually had a 71% win rate. Bomber had 68.
Wow.
And with that brings Ryung's down to 66% win rate. So, yeah, both very good TVTs. Ryung actually has only lost a few games, only 4 games previous to this set, 10 wins.
Ryung getting a tech lab on his barracks right away. I'm curious to see if we're going to see possibly a Reaper come out. Or, let's see, is he getting gas? Yeah, probably going to see a factory right away after that.
I think that's
command center for Bomber. Yeah, he's deciding to go with the one rack expand.
Command center.
And a command center for Ryung as well. He's going to wait a little while to get the factory, getting that Reaper up.
Well, he is producing the Reaper, so that does take a fair bit of gas. And he is still mining gas, so he is going to have enough for
another barracks.
Another barracks.
And factory someday, I'm sure.
Someday.
Someday, we will see a factory, and it will be glorious.
Yep.
That's right. So, a glorious Reaper coming out.
And in the meantime, Bomber just going for 2 barracks and then getting his factory. He's gotten his second gas up now, whereas Ryung's still only on 1 gas, actually, so he may just be just mining away so he has eventually enough gas for other stuff. In fact, more barracks going up for Ryung.
Interesting.
So
I'm actually surprised. He's been getting gas for a long time. He's adding on more barracks. He's saving up the gas for something. We're going to have to wait and see what that may be. It could be a lot of things. Could be tanks.
Maybe a couple reactors.
Blue Flame Hellions. Could be, reactors like you said.
He is getting the...
Oh, look at that. Bomber moving his Marines in place to keep an eye on that Reaper. I think Bomber may have just gotten a glimpse of it when that Reaper was checking for proxies.
And, yeah, he is getting 2 reactors indeed, and the combat shields upgrade.
Yeah.
And he's made just enough gas after that for stim as well. So he looks like he's just going to go mass bio off 2 bases. Ryung didn't get any information, didn't get any scouting information at all with that Reaper. Ooh, nice scan going down. Sees everything, sees the 2 reactors and the tech lab whirring, the little particles flying into that tech lab.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to stick your arm in a tech lab or anything. It looks like it'd be pretty dangerous.
That would probably burn.
There's probably warnings on it. We can't read them from here, but... So, Reaper for Ryung. Moving about the map, SCV getting taken out there. Ryung building 2 more barracks on the low ground, so really going heavy bio.
Yeah.
This certainly could work, and I don't think Bomber would necessarily be expecting that many barracks.
Yep. Now he did scan Ryung did scan, and he saw the factory with the tech lab, and he saw the starport.
Yep.
And so he's probably going to at least think about Banshees. Cloak is upgrading as well.
Oh, we actually didn't see the starport on the, or didn't see the tech lab on the starport.
He didn't, but he saw it on the factory, so he knew it was impossible to switch it.
Now, I really, really like the fact that Ryung is trying some things that are a little bit unorthodox. I think that's very cool. It does show that he's not really confident in his TBT abilities, which I think is silly because he's an awesome TBT player.
Well, maybe he watched the games between SC and Losira yesterday and said, Marines are pretty good.
Yeah, they just might be. I've heard about those Marines. I just made Reapers, but maybe I'll give these Marine guys a try.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not surprised, come to think of it, that Ryung is doing something a little bit different here.
Yep.
He is a student of Boxer. He said in his interview last week that Boxer suggested one of his builds against Alive. So he's got some good tutelage in the ways of being smart.
Boxer is like the professor of being smart.
Yeah, man.
It's like, you're dumb now, but I'll make you smart.
Exactly. Here's that Cloak Banshee coming in.
Oh.
He has...
And I'm going to be so disappointed if
one scan almost saved up. Oh, he's right underneath the Banshee. He could snap it when he scans on both sides.
Oh,
and there's the snap. Oh, a little bit of a misfire, but he gets it anyway.
Nice. Doesn't even need to stim.
And stim is actually almost completed, so he couldn't have stimmed regardless.
Yep. Yet another reason why he didn't even need to stim.
Yes, that's a good point. Okay, fair enough. And mixing in some Marauders as well, which is good because Bomber has some tanks out. And the concussive shells being researched.
Yep.
And he does have another scan saved up. Is he going to be able to get this? Banshee, he might wait for stim, or he might wait for that turret. And there's the stim and scan. And
the Banshee.
He does get it.
Wow.
That was close.
Yeah, that Banshee was right on the edge. For those of you who might be a little bit newer to the game, the actual vision range that the scan gives you is much larger than the actual graphics. So you can see things a little bit farther than that. So the scan icon's kind of like a placeholder.
Roughly twice the width.
Yeah, that's a good rule of thumb, is roughly twice the width. It is helpful. And so right now, 36 Marines right now.
Now he doesn't actually have medevacs, so those Marines that he stimmed before.
Oh, he's bringing SCVs too.
Several Marines that he's bringing SCVs.
Is that all of his SCVs? It can't be all of them.
It's just all the ones from his natural. He has only about maybe a dozen and a half SCVs back at home, so he really needs to do damage on this. And there he scans to see what's going on. The SCV's going first to take the damage. He needs to target those tanks with the Marauders. He stims and runs in.
Oh, wow.
Major damage. And Ryung looks like he might just roll over the army of Bomber without the siege upgrade. And GG
there you
coming
go.
from Bomber. Ryung with a beautiful timing attack with stim, combat shields, concussive shells, and a ton of Marines. Goes in there and takes out Bomber in Game 2, bringing this best of 5 to a tie series.
Yeah, we are 1-1. Sella giving him a little bit of a congratulatory little shoulder up there.
Wow.
And so suddenly Bomber not looking quite as confident as he was before, and Ryung possibly gaining some confidence. These socks he's wearing right now might just become his new lucky socks.
Yeah, man.
We'll see.
He lost his old lucky socks.
We'll see if we can get him to autograph.
Perhaps today he's wearing his lucky underwear. In any case, very nice move by Ryung. Nice move by Ryung. It was a good timing attack. I'm surprised that Bomber didn't expect it more.
Yeah, he didn't really do a very good job scouting that game.
He saw all the racks.
He
saw the reactors. His Banshee, I believe, saw the other two racks on the low ground. He must have known something that was coming. And the thing is, siege mode was moments from completing. Moments from completing on Bomber's end. And if siege mode had completed, all he had to do was hit siege mode button, and
it would have.
And he probably would have held that off, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
at least enough to stay in the game. So perfect timing.
Yeah.
Coincidental or not, by Ryung, taking Game 2, and we've got a series on our hands, Doa.
We certainly do. It's going to be a best of 5. Emphasis on the word best, as it is probably going to be one of the best of 5s that you or I have ever seen.
This is going to be
both games have been pretty entertaining
so far.
Yeah. Now the next map is going to be Teldrim Altar, So probably in for something a little bit longer, but then again, the bigger the map, the temptation is there, of course, to cheese again. So we'll see what happens. Also depends a little bit on the spawn positions, too.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, you know, the metagame, this is where the metagame comes in again, because 4-player maps are harder to cheese on. So sometimes people will assume that their opponent isn't going to cheese them by doing like a proxy barracks or something like that, because they think, oh, well, that wouldn't be a very good idea on this map because they might not scout me immediately. But that also is sometimes a reason to cheese on this map.
Yeah.
And in some of the other leagues going on right now, we've seen players do exactly that, cheese on the larger maps because it's less expected. Let's find out what happens next.